welcome to the front page on the Taylor Berg Report. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Bippity boppity boop. There's a ghost in your mirror. Run, Mackenzie, run! Bird watching. Extreme. Or I spy with my little eye? Next time, guys, just use protection. You laugh now, King, but we're in for 10 years of the Great Depression. Up next on Taylor Berg Report, we have our rant, followed by our On Location. On the street, you see a woman. She's wearing a dress, knee-length. You think to yourself, what a quiff. But mind your potatoes. The inappropriate dress code all these young smarties are sporting doesn't end there. Drinking hooch, smoking butts, staying out late without a care in the world. And with prohibition in occurrence, you'd think none of them would be so zozzled up all the time. With all these laws in place, you'd think these Janes would dry up and become civilized. But no. They insist on attending speakeasies and running their own shows. Well, let me tell you, we will not stand up for this disobedience. And us women of Ancaster plan on confronting these bims. Flappers flaunt their bubs around thinking they're the bee's knees or the cat's pajamas. But what is all this attention getting for them? A bad name and a bunk around the community. Besides, these ragamuffin joints ain't got nothing on good old family time. These ladies may be having a whoopee in the box now, but I swear they won't be doing that for long. Once they realize being a jazz baby ain't hotsy-totsy, I bet they all will go back to being smooth. What must be so dandy about my life, you wonder? Besides being a looker. Us keen broads know that with all these new inventions, kittens will be begging to be a housewife. I got my stove, my laundry machine, and so much more. It's made my life at home a breeze. I still remember the day I got it. Oh, it was a bang, don't you know? Anyways, I got important beeswax to attend. Excuse me. And the mysterious disappearance of Tom Thompson. Please welcome our first guest.
Hello, Taylor. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm so delighted to be here.
It's quite a pleasure. So tell me about the Group of Seven.
Well, the Group of Seven was a very exciting group of 7 Canadian young artists who would paint Canada's beautiful landscapes. Their paintings were done in an impressionistic style. And what's so interesting is that I think at that time in history, everyone expected them to paint a very detailed picture, but no, they painted it in a beautiful impressionistic style, capturing the true essence of Canada's beauty. And if I may, Taylor, I'd like to use this picture as an example. This was a picture painted by A.Y. Jackson, and what you can see is a young, spread out maple tree with bold red colors, and in the background a rough flowing river. How do you say turbulent? Well, this was painted in 1914, and Europe was on the brink of the First World War, and there was Canada as a young nation, so strong with its vibrant color, but so young and so vulnerable.
That's very interesting. Who were the members of the group?
Well, let's see. There was J.E.H. MacDonald, there was Lauren Harris, Arthur Lismer, F.H. Farley, Franklin Carmichael, and of course A.Y. Jackson. Oh, and Franz Johnson to make the 7th person.
Okay. And how does Tom Thompson relate to the Group of Seven?
Well, he's often considered one of the Group of Seven, even though he doesn't fit the number of 7. And because he died tragically before the group was formed. But he was a friend of the members of that group and also a sort of mentor for them. in many ways.
You mentioned that he died?
Oh yes, he died under very mysterious circumstances in 1917 while on a canoe trip in Algonquin Park on Canoe Lake. His body was found in the water, but at the same time there were signs of a bad blow to the head and some fishing line tied around his legs.
Oh, well that's very sad. But I'm afraid that's all the time we've got. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
After the break, we have our next guest, Tom Pierce, telling us a little more about Tom Thompson. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'd like to welcome Tom Pierce to the show.
Thank you.
Tom Thompson was a famous artist who mysteriously disappeared one day while painting at Algonquin Park at his cabin. What do you believe happened to Tom Thompson?
I think he was probably out on a canoe and drowned. He didn't buy from the Cameron Canoe Company, and he should have.
My sources suggest you may have had something to do with the disappearance. What is your opinion on this?
They wouldn't invite me into the group of 7. I certainly was hurt by that, but I started my own painting school, and I have an alibi.
What is your alibi?
I was painting.
What were you painting, and do you have a date on this painting?
I don't have a date, but I was painting a model, and she can verify.
Alright. Do you believe he was really part of the group of 7?
I think he was more their inspiration. I think that he was a visionary that people latched onto and learned from, but he certainly is mentioned very often in the same sentence with them.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Joining us after Tom is his alibi, Anne-Marie. This is her official statement, and we will then proceed to ask her questions about Tom Thompson.
Tom could not have possibly have done that. He would never have killed another soul. And besides, he was with me.
And which date was this?
July 8th.
Okay, that is valid. What do you believe happened to Tom Thompson?
Well, Tom Thompson was not a strong swimmer. He was not, honestly. So when he went out on the canoe that day, I knew trouble was happening. A storm came up, swept over the lake. You couldn't believe it. It came up like in an absolute instant, and I think he just went under. He couldn't swim, and that was it. Sad to say.
My sources suggest you may have had something to do with the disappearance. What is your opinion on this?
Well, I just can't believe that someone would say that about me. Really, honestly, I just thought that he was an incredible artist. I would have just wanted nothing but the best for him. But sadly, he made some choices. Sad choices, maybe bad choices. Should never canoe alone.
Okay. And what were you doing on the night of this disappearance?
I was modeling. Tom was painting. He was practicing his craft. Tom's a well-known artist, So he had a showing and he wanted to create some more work, and so Tom asked me to sit for him, and so I sat for some paintings that evening.
Tom Pierce, that is.
That's Tom Pierce, yes.
Okay. Do you believe that he was really part of the group of 7?
Tom Pierce or Tom Thompson?
Tom Thompson.
Oh, absolutely, of course. But, my Tom Pierce, could have been one of the group of 7, but he wasn't recognized in his time. Now people think very highly of his work. But
I'm asking about Tom Thompson.
I know, but Tom Thompson was. But my Tom, he could have been a member of the group of 7.
Okay, that is all. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you.